Oleochemicals are chemical compounds derived from natural fats and oils that can be used as raw materials or as supplemental materials in a variety of industries. Oleochemicals can be used as a substitute for petroleum-based products known as petrochemicals. Manufacturers began switching from petrochemicals to oleochemicals in late 1970 due to the rise in price of crude oil and the affordability of plant-based lauric oils produced from palm kernels. Fatty acids, the largest application for oleochemicals and other basic oleochemical substances, are produced by various chemicals and enzymatic reaction.
Oleochemicals are produced using chemical processes such as water-based hydrolysis, alcohol-based alcoholysis, and hydrogenation, to name a few. Oleochemicals contain few, if any, carcinogens, making them a safer option than their synthetic chemical alternatives. Some oleochemicals that are commonly used in today's market include palm oil, coconut oil, and soy.
Hi, so today we will be focusing on one of the issue in oleochemical industry in the palm plantation, which is, as you can guess, deforestation. So, in Indonesia, the largest supplier of palm oil, there happen so many deforestation done by big corporations like Corindo, for example. How do these one companies from Korea manage to get their hand on lands in Indonesia for them just to deforest and take the land from the indigenous people in Indonesia? So this happened when the company come and approach the indigenous people and offered many things, for example, scholarship for their child's education. But what happened is, when after they sign the consent to clear the land, it never happened. The things that they promised never happened. Also, if we look it up into Corindo website, we can find that they said that they commit to SDG, or known as Social Development Goals, and ESG, which is environment, social, and government. Also, in the website, they said that they will minimize the emission of greenhouse gases. And also, they will never use fire in any of its operation. But according to one of the journalists from BBC News, they said that Corindo has intentionally used fire to clear their lands. If we let companies like Corindo do whatever they want, this means that the more forests will be burned so that they can pump the palm oil for the profits of oleochemical. What does this mean? This means that the emission of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, which is one of the greenhouse gases that trap the heat that should escape the earth into the space, but trap because of the gas, and our earth will become warmer.
We believe that this issue stems from the greed of individuals to profit from this industry, as we know that palm oil has a huge market potential in the world. Recently, research on palm oil as a source of electricity has increased everyone's interest in venturing into palm oil plantations. This will certainly lead to massive deforestation around the world. Therefore, interference from the government is a must to prevent further damage done to our nature. As we know, many corporations, especially big corporations, always say that they commit to SDG and ESG, but done otherwise like Corinda did. The government should have interfered and monitor heavily of these corporations and fine them responsibly if they do not comply with the sustainable goals that they said they will commit to. regulations and robust policies to remove deforestation, conversions of other natural ecosystems such as peatlands must be made with the cooperation of those involved. This will set the standards for all, not only companies but also small stakeholders. The regulations and policies will make sure the transparency when they try to plant palm oil, so that not only deforestation can be prevented, but it can be conserved. In conclusion, even now in 2022, corporate giants have not yet been able to eliminate deforestation from palm oil production despite their best efforts. Our findings show high rates of forest loss for palm oil production across a range of countries and continents, raising concerns about future expansions of oil palm plantations. This legacy of forest loss points to the need for increased monitoring and interventions with particular emphasis in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Papua New Guinea in Southeast Asia, Peru, Ecuador, and Brazil in South America, and Cameroon in Africa. We also find that conservation priorities depend on taxa and selection criteria. By one criteria or another, almost all the forests vulnerable to oil palm development have high biodiversity. Expansion of oil palm at the expense of natural forests is a conservation concern in all regions. We propose that government regulations, enforcement, and monitoring combined with voluntary market initiative by the largest buyers and sellers of palm oil hold promise for stemming oil palm-driven deforestation.
Protecting natural ecosystem and sustainably managing and re-establishing forests are important ways to reduce greenhouse gas emission and slow down temperature rise in the short term by drawing down carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. At the same time, we must deeply and rapidly reduce global greenhouse emission levels from fossil fuels, oil, and gas. If we do only former and not latter, we risk transforming more and more of our carbon sinks into carbon source of climate change progresses. That's all from us. Thank you.